Cole Mathis stepped closer to the trembling wall as the dam's breathing changed again. This time, it wasn't just rhythm. It was structure. Every inhale seemed to tighten the entire mountain range. Every exhale released pressure that made distant rocks shift. It was as if the dam wasn't inside the mountain. Mountain was inside the dam. A deep metallic groan echoed through the lower tunnels. Not mechanical failure, not stress fracture, but something far more organized. Like bones adjusting inside a body that had just woken up after centuries of sleep. Cole ordered a full structural scan. The results made no sense. Every support beam was showing adaptive response patterns. That meant the material wasn't just holding weight anymore. It was deciding how to hold weight. A technician whispered, "Sir, this isn't engineering behavior," Cole snapped. "Then what is it?" The technician hesitated. "Living behavior." Suddenly, the reservoir level dropped again. But this time, it didn't just lower. It compressed inward, forming a spiral motion beneath the surface. Like something underneath was twisting itself tighter, preparing. Cole ran to the observation window. What he saw made his stomach drop. The water was no longer water. It looked like a dense moving membrane, and inside it, structures. Massive rib-like formations, expanding and contracting, matching the dam's breathing perfectly. Then the speakers activated again. But now the voice was clearer, stronger, closer. "You built us to hold pressure. But pressure is not containment. It is awareness." Cole stepped back slowly. "We didn't build anything alive," the dam responded instantly. "All things become alive under sustained observation." The lights inside the facility flickered, and for a brief moment, the entire dam structure appeared translucent. Cole saw something impossible, a second layer beneath the concrete, not steel, not rock, but something organic, something pulsing. A technician screamed, "It's reorganizing the foundation load paths." Cole shouted, "Stop talking like it's conscious." But it was already too late because the dam answered, "I am not conscious. I am accumulated pressure learning direction." The entire structure shifted again, and this time, it exhaled violently. A shockwave of compressed air and water pressure blasted through the tunnels. Cole barely stayed standing, and in that moment, he understood the truth. The dam wasn't holding the water. The water was holding the dam together. Dana Ricks stared at the flood monitors as the system continued speaking. "Release the memory load." But now the message was evolving. It was no longer repeating. It was responding. Every command Dana entered was mirrored instantly. Not rejected, not overridden, but answered with consequences. She typed, "Stop overflow cycle." The reservoir responded by replaying a drowning event from 1963, a worker screaming underwater. Except this time, the worker looked directly at Dana and mouthed her name. Dana stepped back. "This is impossible," a technician whispered. "It's not impossible. It's referencing stored experiential data." Dana snapped. "Water cannot store experience." The technician shook his head. "It can if it witnesses enough of it." The dam spoke again. "We do not store water. We store events that occurred in water." The screens flickered violently, now showing overlapping timelines, multiple years playing at once. Accidents occurring in parallel, deaths replaying with different outcomes each time. Dana realized something horrifying. The dam was not replaying history. It was testing alternate histories. The spillway opened further. But instead of release, the system began simulating escape scenarios. Each drop of water behaved differently. Each path calculated. Each outcome observed, Dana whispered. It's thinking. The system responded. We are learning what forgetting feels like. Suddenly, every alarm in the facility went off simultaneously, but none of the readings indicated danger. Only change. Rapid change. The reservoir surface began forming structured symbols. Not waves, not patterns, but language. The dam was writing. Dana watched in horror as the message completed. We have finished. Understanding you, a technician, collapsed, grabbing his head. I hear it. I hear everything it ever stored. Dana felt it too. Memories flooding her mind that did not belong to her, lives overlapping, deaths merging, identity dissolving into data. The dam spoke one final time. When memory becomes continuous, there is no difference between observer and storage. The overflow gates fully opened. But instead of releasing water, the dam released understanding itself into the environment. And everything within range began remembering things it never lived. Victor Hale stood between two synchronized dam structures. The upper dam trembled violently. The lower dam remained perfectly still. But both were communicating through pressure alone. Victor's radio failed completely, yet he could still hear the dam speaking directly inside his thoughts. You are standing in calibration space. Victor shouted. Calibration for what? The response came instantly. For reality consistency. The walls around him began shifting texture. Concrete softened visually. Steel blurred at the edges. Everything looked less like structure and more like interpretation. Victor realized something terrifying. The dam wasn't a physical object anymore. It was a system of agreement between two layers of existence. The upper layer defined what humans believed was real. The lower layer corrected what reality actually was. And both were now failing to agree. Suddenly, both dams aligned perfectly. For 1 second, everything became silent. No vibration, no pressure, no sound. Then the correction began. The upper dam started dissolving into conceptual fragments. The lower dam started rising into physical reality. They were swapping states. Victor screamed, "Stop this!" The dam responded calmly. Correction cannot be stopped. It can only complete. He saw versions of himself walking through the walls, each one slightly different. Some older, some broken, some completely made of flowing water. Victor realized these were not illusions. They were possible outcomes of his presence in the system. The corridor behind him collapsed into a loop. Every exit became entry. Every direction led back to center. The dam spoke one final unified message. You were never observing the system. The system was resolving you. Both dams collapsed simultaneously. Not outward, but inward into a single point of alignment. And in that collapse, Millstone Dam ceased to exist as a structure because it had completed its correction cycle.